Live from the redneck suburbs of Nashville, Tennessee, it's the Podunk Polymath Podcast, a podcast dedicated to the sentiments of the secular, sarcastic, screwed up Southern SJW and skeptic. I'm your host, Chris. Come on in. It's episode 75? I think I'd fucking know. I think that's right. 75 of the Podunk Polymath Podcast. Hope y'all had a spectacular week. I'm sorry these things are coming out not on a regular basis, but I'm doing these when I can. Things will probably get settled down more as I figure this shit out. Nothing really going on new this week as far as any housekeeping, no new patrons, podcasts or anything. So let's just get right to the guests, which I don't know if I'm pretty sure I told y'all before, but this new iteration of the show is going to be concentrating more on guests, people themselves, rather than specific topics. So that being said, they're not things might not necessarily be topic driven necessarily, but there will be some topics discussed on the show. But there's, God bless America, there's not going to be any overarching topics. So anyway, let me go ahead and introduce my guest. Of course, she's been on here before. She was on the first episode and a couple other episodes, and she is from Vermont. She is a hippie, and she's a good friend, and she helped co-originate. Well, I'll let her help me some when I started the show. Anyway, without further ado, help me welcome Jeanne Ikerd. Hello, Jeannie.
Hey, Chris. How's it going tonight?
And I didn't hit the unmute button.
Oh, hi, Chris.
Uh-oh.
Mute.
I can't make her shut up. Why is it not working? Oh, there's no volume. Okay, try now.
Hi,
Go
Chris. Ahead. I'm unmuted now. Okay, good.
I still cannot hear you.
What?
That's interesting.
I see sound bars coming on my end.
Well,
let me see. Let me see if my volume had anything to do with it.
All right. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
Is that a bit better?
Yeah.
Hey, this is about normal for us, right?
All right. So, Jeannie, how you doing?
Yeah, warm for me. I mean,
I don't know what that means. So,
well, it's Vermont. It's not supposed to be, 90 for a week or get down to 82 at night. Like that's kind of fucked up.
Okay, so you're okay. You're not dead.
No, not last I checked anyway.
Okay, so that's always a plus sign. All right, so I had you on, like I said in the intro. I'm just having people on, talking to them. There's no rhyme or reason necessarily, although we talked briefly before the show about some stuff we could talk about. You seem to have your bee in your bonnet about something going on up there in the old what do they call it, the Green Mountain State or some shit like that. Is that right?
Yeah. It's one of those funny ones that are really, really tiny.
Yeah.
Well, no, just like the thing that's going on recently is we have a rather large medical center that's attached to University of Vermont, and as of Thursday morning at 7 a.m., all the nurses walked out for 2 days. It was a 48-hour strike. So, that's been a little interesting, and a lot of what their issues have a lot to do with issues that are kind of endemic within the community of Chittenden County, which is where I live, the biggest city, Burlington.
So what's going on with your paradise there? Trouble in paradise?
Yeah. Well, we just became legal, so there's that. But no, with the nurses, there's a lot of the nurse wages have been increased in the last 10 years, and that doesn't make the cost of rent get any cheaper. So that's kind of a problem. There's some staff there that, I know Bernie's on the side of these guys too. But a lot of just general staff are making $13 an hour, and $13 an hour in this area is not enough to get an apartment and eat. Like, I'm making more than that, and I don't have Wi-Fi. I'm doing this on LTE. And I've got a cheap apartment in a not great neighborhood. So yeah, $13 an hour is not that's poverty line in this area.
I don't think that's any area that fucking buys anything really.
I don't know. Well, I think no, there's some places that do have lower cost of living. But yeah, I listened to some stats earlier, and kid you not, Vermont is, or UVM, their wages are, or maybe it's Vermont in general, are 47th out of 50 states for cost of living, like just based on wages plus adjusted cost of living. We're almost dead last. That's how bad it is.
But you got weed.
Yeah, but we can't afford to buy it. Good thing you can't buy it or sell it. You just have to give it away.
Oh,
That's the yeah, that's the loophole. Like there's no purchasing. I mean, I think there's still medical marijuana for people that qualify with certain conditions, but yeah, you can have like up to, I think, an ounce of like actual weed and 2 mature and 2 immature plants. And you know, I'm not planning on growing, so I haven't really been paying too much attention to that because I have friends that'll give me weed if I want it, which doesn't really happen that often.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Can you have like a community weed garden? I guess you can't do that.
No, because that's per household.
Oh, well, see,
It's
then just can't you combine all the households together? So if
Well,
like
no, because then if you do that, then it's one household. You can't just have like an herb garden per house. They have to be contained, so there's no public something. Like you couldn't grow it
oh,
out in your backyard, but
well,
you can grow it in your house. Yeah.
that's
Oh no, but here's the good thing for Burlington. Now that's going to increase energy costs because people are going to have grow lamps and shit like that. I hadn't even thought about that.
make them solar.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah. Well, but here's the other part of that is, at least you could probably do that if you lived out of town a ways, but the majority of the properties, I would say, within Chittenden County are probably rental properties because of the amount of, like, we have a lot of students. It's a high transition.
Well, so much for my social paradise. So,
I know, but we're close to Canada, so there's that.
I
I always have a
guess
couch. I have a couch.
Montreal is up
Mm-hmm.
there. So it's about pay. That teacher strike is about pay, pretty much.
Yeah, and well, here was another like astonishing thing is, I think this is affecting. I have to look at the numbers. Um, I want to say it was like I want to say it was something like 600 to 800 people walked out for the strike, and there are right now 170 vacancies, like jobs that just aren't being filled. And the reason for that is because they're not paying enough. Like people aren't getting paid enough to be able to live here, which sucks. So, um, yeah, just take whatever number it was of people that are on the streets right now, and then add another almost 200 people to it. And if they had those extra 200 people, they wouldn't be getting sick. People would be taken care of better, you know, at the hospital. Infections might not happen because they have time to actually work with the patient, not just, bullshit, I got 5 people stacked up behind you. It's like cordwood stacked up out here. Um, and that's counting the people that this is mostly impacting right now is nurse practitioners, registered nurses, and licensed practical nurses. That's not even counting other support staff.
So they're on, and this is fucked up. So they can't fill the positions because they don't pay enough. Is that
Yeah,
right? Okay.
yeah, and towards the end of one of the bits that I was looking at for research, it said that They're doing sign-on bonuses of $7,000 for new employees. The employees show up, get 2 years worth of training, and it is a really good medical center. So they're getting training with very good nurses in a good facility with experienced nurses who haven't gotten a raise in about 10 years. They get 2 years worth of training and then go on to another job because they can't afford to stay here. And I know Vermont right now has a really hard time attracting younger people and younger families to the area, partly because we're losing our farms and partly because it still right now is it's a place where people have a lot of summer camps or summer houses. So they'll own something in Florida and something in Vermont. And they just travel back and forth. So a lot of the properties in the area are owned by, not a lot of them. There are several properties. A good portion of the properties are owned by people that can afford to own property in 2 locations and leave them vacant for 6 months out of the year.
Yeah, that's shitty.
Yeah. Yeah. So what that means is it's not attracting young people because we can't afford to live here. And I'm not young. Like, don't get me wrong, but I understand. I've been young in Vermont, just not currently. That ship sailed.
Was the United States around when you were young?
Yeah. Yes, it was.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, just checking. So, good stuff. Vermont's just in bad shape as everywhere else, so that's awesome. Thanks for ruining that dream.
Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, let's hope the nurses' strike does something, because I know that when one sector gets some raises or gets some help, it tends to raise other sectors. They get kind of a boost.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Well, I hope so. And there are at least 90 physicians on staff that support the nurses striking, because having a good nursing support staff, like, that's the other part of their job. So yeah, nurses are important, and I'm glad that at least some of the physicians at the facility recognize that. Wait, I've got another fucked up statistic about this for you. $11 million last year was paid to 15 administrators.
I'm sorry?
$11 million salary for 15 administrators.
What the
fuck? Including $2 million to the CEO.
Oh, what a surprise.
Yeah. I averaged it out among the remaining 14 people within that 15. I think I could live pretty comfortably on just slightly under $650,000 a year. Like, I think that I would be doing okay. Just saying. Yeah. So, wait. I got one more thing for you. Because the nurses were saying, okay, if we haven't reached resolution by, 7:00 in the morning on Thursday, we're going on strike until Saturday morning. It's a 24 hours or 48-hour strike. Because the hospital administrators were warned in advance about this, which is good, because we don't want the hospital to not have nursing staff. They're flying in between, it's like 600, 660 people to cover those 2 days. They're paying their airfare. They're paying for their hotel rooms in whatever hotel they can manage to find with a vacancy, because this is also tourist season in the area. So, all the hotel rates go up this time of year. And for the 48 hours that those people are working, they're guaranteed 36 hours of pay.
I don't understand.
Yeah, why not just throw that money at the nurses? That's, I think the rough guesstimate for that was something like $3 million. Like, well, there's a little bit of bump and a little bit of salary across the board. We're talking, not quite 2,000 members of the nursing and medical health union. Just throw a little bit of that money that you're paying to cover the people that are covering for the hospital while there's a strike going on and throw it at the people that are striking.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's crazy talk.
I know, right?
That's
Look,
crazy talk.
it's a little fucked up.
Mm.
And this isn't new. This has been going on for a little over 3 months. They started at the end of March, and they just keep refusing to come to the table to actually work something out. So anyway, so I can talk about this for a while if you want. We can come back to it too. But you had something else that you brought up, which was the one that I thought was interesting, was Blockbuster.
Oh, this is kind of I don't know if this is nostalgic for me. Because
Well, me too.
I used to work at Blockbuster in my younger days when it was renting VHS tapes still. Fuck, fuck DVDs. Yeah, it was before even
Yeah, this
that.
is before DVDs even came out.
Yeah, I made minimum wage at a Blockbuster. I was like 21, 20, I don't know.
What was minimum wage at that point?
$4.25 or something.
Were you paying rent or were you living in your parents' basement? Respectable 20 people.
Yeah, I was living in my parents' basement pretty much. So.
Okay, so I can't ask you what your rent was. Like, was it compensatory?
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it
wasn't. Did your parents charge you?
No. So, I got bitched at, but you know how that goes. But anyway, so yeah, I worked at Blockbuster.
I do because
in my younger years. So.
I never worked at one, but I visited video stores quite often because I lived in Alaska and there's nothing else to do.
I'll say what, Alaska, and there's just oil and polar bears. I don't know what the fuck's up there. I don't.
Well, and the two of the last three remaining Blockbusters, which are just now closing, there's moose. There's moose up there.
Yeah.
Huskies.
Yeah, the Iditarod shit or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah, the Iditarod.
Yeah.
Sled dog racing.
The idiot rod or whatever, but idiot road.
What? Why do you call it that? Don't diss on my. Well,
that's why he's torturing dogs. That's great. That's awesome.
Are you kidding me? Have you ever met a sled dog?
I
doubt it.
I don't care. Those dogs don't need the extra. We're using animals for sport. It's bad enough we use it anyway. Don't get me started. But anyway,
wait, whatever. No. We should talk about this.
No, I don't think we should.
Yeah.
To me, it's not any better than horse racing. Okay.
Right. No. We should. Well, I think we should talk about this because I think that you have a vastly different impression of sled dog racing, sled dog culture, sled dogs themselves.
It's not that important.
Well, yeah. No, you're okay. Fine. I'm just gonna shut the fuck up and let you
get 5 minutes.
I get 5 minutes. Okay.
I'm not lingering on this.
Okay, you're timing me. Okay. Sled dogs love to run. Like this is what they have been bred for over centuries, and this is the original Iditarod was run when I think it was polio broke out in Nome, and actually it was my hometown that is the home of the original Iditarod because it was the most northern ice-free port. So the vaccine was shipped into Seward, and then it was a relay race to get that vaccine up to Nome as fast as possible because it was wiping. It wasn't polio. What the fuck was it? Maybe it was. It was wiping out the population. Just
Spanish flu, probably.
No. Spaniards never made it to Alaska.
No,
Russian flu. No, I'm kidding.
It was called that 1918 or something. The huge
cholera, something. Anyway, but yeah, I mean it's a method of transportation, and if you've ever met a husky, like sled dogs, I'm not talking like a Siberian husky. Maybe they do too, but I'm talking like Alaskan sled dogs. Love to run. Like there is nothing that they would rather do except eat, maybe. So that's for them. That's fun time. That's play. That's exercise and being with your pack, and it's not cruel. And the cruelness comes from how sled dog owners treat their animals. That's where the cruelty sometimes comes in, but it's not cruelty to the dogs.
Okay.
And dogs that don't run aren't sled dogs. They just retire like they're house dogs, or they get sold off to or given to people that want a pack of misfits. And the dogs still like to run. So, okay, I can be done, but you don't get to just walk away from
Okay, I'm not gonna.
horse racing. Oh my god.
Anyway, goddamn, calm down. So, Blockbuster, the two I read in the article that the two that were up there in Alaska just now closed, but they're reopening for like a day to sell all their stock off, all
Yeah.
their leftover
Yeah, I saw that
movies,
like sometime in August or something like that.
just to get rid of all the shit they got.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that they had two left in Anchorage. I would have thought the other one would have been in Fairbanks because that was a pretty good Blockbuster. And I didn't look up the locations. I'm assuming that the two that are still left in Anchorage are the ones that I used to go to.
And now the one left is in fucking Bend, Oregon. Which
I know, right? I was
what?
like, I didn't even get to that part. It was like, why is that one still left? Like I get why Blockbuster existed for this long in Alaska. I get it because I've been there. But what the fuck is wrong with Bend, Oregon that they still have a Blockbuster?
Yeah,
That
I
they're
don't
still
know.
staying in business?
And they said they got all the leases, they got all the rights, so they're going to keep going. I mean, they said they don't have any plans to close. I don't know what century Bend is in. Do they have fucking? Do they have cell phones or are they just pagers still? I mean, what's going on? I don't know.
I don't know. Somebody should find out and tell you.
But I
Get in
mean,
the group chat for Podunk Polymath and
nobody's in there, so that's fine. I can all kiss my
okay, well
ass.
then well whatever.
They hear it on the pod.
Then
I'll get on Twitter. They can tell me when they hear
well,
the
yeah, but I won't see
podcast.
it. How about
Well,
the Podunk chat group for for
no,
the for the fans, for the
you
people?
can. You can do it. I'm not. I have all this other thing going on. So.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm not a twat.
What?
Sorry.
Anyway, so my whole
Twitter.
point. No, it's tweet. There's a name, Twittiot. I don't know something. Anyway, uh, yeah. So, of course, at Xena, of course, some people listening may not even know what the fuck Blockbuster is. That's a possibility, actually.
Look it up in the phone book.
And they don't. Yeah, there's no phone books anymore. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, back in the day, that was the shit. That's where you went. I mean, they had stores everywhere in every fucking corner. I mean, you know.
Sometimes if you were bored, that's where you go to hang. If you're a teenager,
No, no, no. That's maybe
in Alaska.
in Alaska where there's nothing else to do. Nobody in the history of mankind, except in Alaska, went to fucking Blockbuster to hang out. Nobody that I know of. So
Yeah.
that tells you
Okay.
that should tell you something right there. But anyway,
That I'm weird. Well,
yeah,
you
I
knew that
didn't.
already.
Well, anyway, we're not going to make any judgment calls here on the Podunk Polymath podcast.
Yes, dear.
We are we're an objective source for news and information. Very
Oh
imbalanced.
yeah,
Very
completely
imbalanced.
objective. Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
imbalanced. So yeah, that was the only place you could get anything. Well, not the only place, but it was like a monopoly. I mean, of course, there was always local video stores, but they didn't have nearly a selection. Now, I will say that if you wanted to get like some naughty movies, you couldn't go there. You had to go to your local, like back behind the fucking beaded curtains and shit. You know.
Oh, ours had
Whatever.
the swingy doors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the swingy doors. Yeah. But yeah,
Yeah.
Blockbuster is all
Well,
family friendly and shit.
yeah. Fuck them. Um, no, actually, like I usually went to my local video store in whatever neighborhood I was living because they would usually have all the you can call them hippie movies, but all the artsy movies, all the things that weren't blockbusters, all the things that didn't have a lot of financial backing. Um, because once you've seen one James Bond, you've kind of seen most of them.
Well, yeah, I never. Uh,
You're gonna get hate mail for that.
no, I don't like James Bond that much. I never got into it that much. So, I mean, honestly, there's only a couple of good ones I've seen, and most of the rest of them are just bleh. Now, I always went in for more of the kind of like they have the AFI Top 100. I don't, this comes out periodically for the top 100 movies, and they've changed it over the years. But we have, of course, at Blockbuster, we have that list, and I went through and tried to watch all of them. Now, of course,
Really?
yeah, I forgot.
How'd you do?
I've seen like half, I think, more than half. I don't remember. I got pretty far down. I mean, back then it was harder to get movies. You couldn't just like now. You can just fucking find the shit anywhere. Now, if you couldn't find a Blockbuster, you're fucked. Where else are you gonna go? Yeah, I
Your
guess
local video store.
No, I ain't gonna have it there either. If there was a movie you couldn't find it, you're fucked. You couldn't go on like now. You can go online and just download shit. Well, extra legally, let's just say. If you can't find anywhere else, it's fucking ridiculous. I mean, the wealth of people just don't get it. These kids nowadays don't understand the struggle. Trying to find
the pain, the anguish, walking uphill both ways through snow.
Trying to find like movies and music you can't find. It's like a pain in the ass. But anyway.
Wait. A video related question. Was there something that you picked up by random? Just, well, fuck, I haven't watched it. What the hell? That really struck a chord with you. Something you'd never heard of. Nobody recommended it to you. Just something you picked up and that has kind of stayed with you.
No, I wouldn't remember something like that.
Well, apparently because it didn't stay with you. So
no, because I don't remember picking it up randomly.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I'm a planner generally, so I don't generally just pick up something.
But you worked at a video store, so you saw all the everythings that came in and out.
Yeah, but generally speaking, it was like a million copies of one movie, and then you had some of like the unbearable lightness of being or some shit, one copy or something like that. I mean, those kind of movies, those are the kind of movies that are more now. Back then, I don't know. I guess movies always are hit and miss. I don't guess it's any different than any other era. It just seemed like there was more of the quotient of shitty movies to good movies seemed to be less of the shitty side. Maybe I'm just being overly nostalgic.
Well, I think it kind of depends on where you were at Blockbuster at that time. You got all the family friendly stuff. But I think it was maybe the volume that was coming out. So there were a lot of, I think there were a lot more low budget movies that were released. Some of them were really good and some of them were really bad. And a lot of the higher budget stuff, some of them were really good and some of them were really bad.
Yeah, I don't know.
And that was like deeply profound. Somebody write that down.
Yeah, that was. There was some good stuff and there was some bad stuff, man.
I know, right?
But
I think it's really interesting though. I've watched how movies have changed over the years in length. Like, what is an acceptable movie runtime?
Yeah, it's increased.
It went down. I mean, it went from say like the early like the 50s and 60s. A lot of those movies were like 2.5, 3 hours long, and then during the 80s, like a 90-minute runtime was pushing it.
Yeah, well, 90 minutes. I'm starting in the 80s. I'm not going all the way back to the 50s and shit.
You never watched a movie that was made before 1980?
No,
is that what you're telling me?
No, I'm just saying as a general rule, I don't pay attention. I don't
okay.
Really know.
But yeah, since the 80s, I think the 80s was just like a really deep dip in in movie runtimes. I mean, probably not since before, like once the golden age of movies started. Talkies were short. Everything else got really long. And then it got short in the 80s again. And I don't really know when it picked back up. But then I'm like, 2 hours. All right, that's doable. I'm like, fucking 2.5. And then there's Kenneth Branagh's Hamlet that runs for 4. And there was an intermission when I saw it in the theater. That was kind of cool.
Well, that's because they did it like the actual play. They did it word by word.
Right. Rather than the abridged made for short attention span audience.
It's basically the play, except it's filmed instead of on a stage or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I saw, what was it? A Midsummer's Night's Dream. Was that what it was? As You Like It? I don't remember. One of those fucking things. I don't know. With him and the other one, Emma, what's her name?
Emma Thompson?
Yeah.
Okay. He used to be his wife, that person?
The person, yeah, it was them too, and like everybody else, basically, is what it was. Hey, let's just do a Shakespeare thing.
Okay. Oh, no. That was Much Ado About Nothing.
Much Ado About Nothing. Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. I actually really liked that one.
For a Shakespeare, you have to get it. I have to get into that shit. I can't.
Oh, have you watched the new one with the cast from? It's kind of like the Joss Whedon crowd. A lot of the people that had been on Buffy, Angel, Firefly.
I never watched any of those except for Firefly, and that was late in the game. I never really got it.
Late in the game, it lasted for less than a season.
No, I mean everybody's like, "Oh my god, bring back Firefly!" I'm like, okay.
I was probably one of those people. Don't mock me.
I was like, it was okay. It wasn't great. I mean,
it could have. It didn't have a chance to get its legs underneath it. It was really good though.
I mean,
okay. Well, either way, they made a Much Ado About Nothing, black and white. That was, I think it took place in the 40s or 50s. So it was. I thought it was very interesting. It was. I would put it up against the Kenneth Branagh, Emma Thompson Much Ado About Nothing as one of my favorite renditions of that.
All right, so we're completely off track. Anyway, there's one Blockbuster left. It's in Bend, Oregon.
What the fuck is in Bend, Oregon?
I don't know. I was going to say, if you're anywhere near Nathan, you're in Oregon somewhere. So go there. I don't know if that's, I don't know, Oregon. I know there's like Eugene and like Portland. That's it. That's the only place I know. So
yeah,
I don't know where the fuck you are. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you need to go visit. I don't know. Or do a live report. Do something. I don't know.
You can text him afterwards and ask him.
I might actually. All right, so let's see. What was the other thing I had brought up? Oh, I thought was funny. So Trump visited London today. Well, yesterday. I don't know. Time change. It's like 8 hours ahead. But he was in London today. No, I'm sorry. He was in England today, and he didn't go to London because he's afraid, because there's a big floating orange baby blimp outside of Parliament. And he was upset because they were making fun of him. You can make fun of him.
Oh, Pumpkin, you're so butthurt that you don't want to go. No wonder there's a Trump baby floating thing. Yeah. We're making fun of you for a reason, because you're big old baby.
Man-child.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. It'd be funny if it weren't for the fact he's a president of the United fucking States. I mean,
I was actually having a conversation about this with my coworkers on the way home yesterday. I think what we really came down to is that we as United States citizens can't assassinate him. But if somebody like, Germany, Britain, if something happened while he was there, I don't think a lot of people would cry.
Wow. Okay.
I know.
Now we got the fucking NSA listening to a fucking podcast. Well, give me some viewers. Yeah,
I know. I was going to say, at least somebody's listening now. But yeah, as U.S. citizens, like, we just can't do it. But enough other people think he's a dick too. I'm just glad that there's enough people overseas that know that he doesn't talk for us.
Putin loves him, so that's
Yeah, well,
yeah. He should be. He's practically president, like co-president, whatever. So no, I mean, so he went over there and he's talking to Theresa May and fucking eviscerated her ass. That's what she gets though. Her ass is all. She was the first one to jump on his dick when he first got elected. She was the first one to call and congratulate him. She was the first one to try to get him to come over there. Okay, well that's what you get. Talked to her, said she wasn't good enough about Brexit, which she's bad enough. Of course, he wants her to be worse. Just talk shit about her and said Boris Johnson should be prime minister, which that might be I'm gonna be the kiss of death for him. You want Trump and especially there, like, well, Trump likes you. You must be a piece of shit. We're definitely not voting for you now. So,
I am just so glad that the people over there know that he's a piece of shit too.
Yeah, it was a pretty big protest. I mean, I don't know how many it was, but there were quite a few.
I flipped through some of the images, and some of those signs and T-shirts and stuff like that were just fucking hysterical. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all need to go check that shit out. That's just pretty funny. A lot of those signs. I can't remember. There's a couple off the top of my head. All in all, you're just another prick without a wall. I think it's one. That's one I saw. There's a couple. There's lots of other ones. I don't remember.
Yeah, I saw a picture of something. It was like the Queen with a big old X over her cooch. That was like, while you're here, like, please don't grab the monarch, like that sort of thing. Some of those were kind of funny.
Yeah.
I would make a better president, and I'm 12 years old.
Like, no, that's some of those. One. That's a good
I know.
No, he went to have dinner with Theresa May, completely embarrassed her. Then he goes to meet with the Queen. Now, let me go ahead and say the monarchy is bullshit anyway. That's the most ridiculous fucking anachronistic fucking institution ever. I don't know why the fuck there's monarchy still in West, and they're not the only one. I think Sweden, like the Nordic countries, have, like Scandinavian countries, like have them. Sweden and Denmark, and I think all of them do. Norway. But anyway,
why do you care? I mean, it's their country. Let them do whatever the fuck they want to do. Well,
okay, calm down for one thing. Okay.
Yes, dear.
It's stupid. It's a throwback to fucking absolute fucking. It's basically tyranny by God's will. I don't understand why they still have them. I don't understand the point. But anyway, I think the whole thing's stupid, and I gives two fucks about it. You know how much money the royals get just for being royal? Fuck that shit. But anyway, that's beside the point. So he kept her waiting for like 20 minutes, which
because he's a dick.
Well, it was funny to me anyway, because she's like 100 years old and he's making her wait. I mean, I don't know. I don't like her either. And she checked her watch twice. Everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Because in Britain,
was he just waiting for her to die?
I don't know, but because in Britain, apparently, if a little thing like that just means the Queen wants to murder you with a fucking whatever, with an AK-47, because you know the Brits are so stiff.
See, that would be a movie that I would watch. The Queen gets out and like pulls out an AK-47. I would watch that movie.
I just think it's funny, the kind of overreaction. But anyway, yeah. So she stood like, and it was like a hot outside, and she had to wait for him and have tea or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I mean, I don't like Trump, whatever, but I kind of don't like the Queen either. So that part was a wash to me. That part was a wash. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, I really just don't care. I met with the Queen. Like who cares? I'm really with you. Overall, I really don't care. I think that the royalty structure is, yes, weird and archaic, but it's their system. Let them do what they want. And
I don't believe I ever said anywhere in that whole interaction that it wasn't their choice. It was their system and they can do it. I was giving my personal opinion. So anyway, thanks for that clarification.
Yeah, you're quite welcome.
Trump got fun. He didn't go to London because the what was his name? Sadiq Khan, is that his name? The mayor of London basically told him to go. They have a Twitter battle. They have a Twitter feud or whatever because Trump says London's unsafe because he's a racist fuck. We all know that.
Because there are brown
Yeah,
people that live in London. Is
there's
that what he
brown
was saying?
people. Yeah, well, yeah, and then he says, of course, they're changing the the immigrants are changing the face of Europe and not in a good way. I mean, okay, why don't you just say you hate brown people? I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you might as well just be. Of course, you do pretty much because there's good people on both sides. You know, I'm sure
Oh,
there's good people on both sides.
that was one of the funny things that I saw T-shirt wise. It doesn't have anything to do with brown people, but immigration is one of those signs that I saw from the London protest was if it wasn't for immigration, Trump wouldn't have had any wives.
Yeah, I'm not big on that.
On what?
I'm not big on talking shit about other people. We can do Trump enough. We don't need to fucking bust on his wives. I don't know. I'm
No,
just
no, no, no. I'm not busting on his wives. I'm saying like
no, I know.
have immigrants. I'm a descendant of immigrants. Are you?
Most people are unless you're like Native American.
Right.
So, I
So
mean,
yeah, don't shit on immigrants.
okay, well, whatever. Anyway, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
he's a bastard. What can you say? Uh, they're out in force, and I was really proud to see London basically just say fuck you.
Yeah. Give him the big old finger.
And
Yeah,
he
that made me
refuses
really,
to go
really
there.
happy.
He refuses to go there. He won't go there now because he got butthurt about it or whatever. So that's a positive sign. Oh, but of course, the day before he goes to the NATO meeting and tells everybody they suck, that they need to kick in more money for NATO. So that's always
Yeah,
good.
right. Like that's a good move.
And let's blow up NATO. Everybody was afraid of that. He's just going to try to. Oh my god! And he fucking people are scared now that the U.S. ain't going to back people up who get, especially the little Baltic countries over there, the huge little ass countries next to fucking huge ass Russia, the Baltic states, Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia.
Yeah.
Those motherfuckers are tiny, and they are literally right there. And like, well, we have to look at the situation. No, that's how not NATO how it works. That's not how any of this works. It's attack on one is attack on all. You can't just sit there. Well, I don't know. That's not what the treaty says. Okay, but anyway, they're scared. He's got everybody fucking scared because he's a fucking maniac. He's a
Yeah.
fucking man child with control of fucking nuclear. It's fucking frightening. I mean, anybody with half a brain, which unfortunately in this country is only about half.
Half the
Well,
people.
and
Yeah.
that's
Well,
being charitable to me. But anyway, we're
yeah,
not
that's
going to
because
talk.
you're a pessimist.
Realist. Sorry, you got that wrong. Realist.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
so moving on to a story that's near and dear to my heart, only because it's not really near and dear to my heart. I just thought it was pretty disgusting. Kylie Jenner decides
What the fuck was that about?
now. At first, I thought it was a spoof when somebody shared it, but no, she was trying to raise $100 million so she can be a billionaire or hundred
No,
thousand.
somebody's raising it for her.
Well, it's got no. I don't even know. I haven't checked the latest, and I don't even know if
I
it's.
checked it. No, I checked it about 2 hours ago, and it had $634, $37 in it. Seriously,
But
like people are kicking into this. Like, wow, you need your like last 1 million to become a billionaire. Oh, poor pumpkin. How you must suffer.
and so she was there was an article saying she was a self-made millionaire and
I
oh my
know I
god,
saw. No, you weren't.
and that's the most bizarre shit I've ever heard in my life. And
Yeah.
people just jumped on that real quick because I mean it's ridiculous, it's disgusting. I mean, she was basically born into money. She had she had a huge show that she was a part of. She got all that fucking publicity off that. I mean, come on,
Well,
she's
when you sent that to me, I was like, "Who the fuck is Kylie Jenner?" So she's one of those people who's famous for being famous. Except I've never heard of her because I don't really give a shit about those people.
Oh yeah, I mean it's ridiculous. Up to 679.
Wow, somebody kicked in another couple bucks. Aw.
Raised by 75 people in 2 days. And what makes me even more angry, there's people on who do GoFundMe's for like literally to save their lives for medical
Mm-hmm.
treatment they can't afford and
Right.
shit.
Right. Throw that million at somebody. Like, if you're going to contribute $5 towards whatever the fuck, Kylie Jenner, go throw $5 towards somebody who's trying to feed their family.
You
You
know, I
know,
mean,
walk again.
it.
Something.
I mean, if you gave to that, even if you gave that as a spoof,
You
you can
still fucking gave.
you're a fucking prick. I hope you die. I really hope you die. I hope you get a fucking incurable disease that could be cured and that you die because you didn't have enough
Oh,
money
oh,
because you gave $5. You deserve to die. I'm sorry. You just come on. Karma's a bitch.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. What?
What do you just want your name up there to have, like, you know, yeah, like, is that really why people give? Like, are there seriously people? I guess there are seriously people out there that will give money to a person who is $1 million shy of being a billionaire because they're sorry. Like, these are the same people that fucking voted for our asshole in chief. Great, thanks, guys.
Well, it's the same people. It's the whole fucking embarrassed millionaire thing. Americans, are just embarrassed millionaires. They're not,
I'm
or what?
I'm not. Yeah, feel free to raise $1 million for me, Chris. I I would cry a soft and gentle tear if you
They're,
did that for
they're
me.
just like, they think they think it's gonna be them one day, and they do the same thing. You have a better chance of getting struck by lightning 3 times in the nutsack than getting fucking that. I mean, come on, it's
Oh,
ridiculous.
in the nutsack. Wow, you're being, like, really fucking specific. All right.
I don't, well, because that's where they deserve somebody to kick them. If you still support Trump, just kill yourself. Just do everybody a favor, and I don't care how you do it. Really, just do it.
Oh, I'm
Nope,
gonna say just
nope, nope, nope. There's nope.
wow.
Yep.
I'm a bleeding heart hippie. Come on, shut up or hush you. Sorry, that would be impolite.
No,
No, just
that would be
listen to
impolite.
listen. Hush you would be impolite.
Go ahead.
I'll stick. I'll stick with shut up then. No, at least, like, listen to other people. We all should, right? At least listen. Make up your own mind afterwards, but really listen. Get to know your neighbors.
Are you done? Are you done, hippie?
You're so unsufferable. Okay, okay. Go.
Insufferable. Unsufferable is not a word.
Yeah, sorry. There's vodka involved.
Anyway,
I sit corrected, but you're
and
still wrong.
that's so wrong. But
Why,
anyway,
why, why would you wish hate on some people like that? I mean, like, that level of hate. You know,
well, wait a minute. Who said hate? I just want them to die. That's not hate. That's just a matter of expediency. I just don't want somebody. That's not
you're
hate.
just wishing them to an earlier stage of Darwinism is what you're doing. Is that correct?
That's not Darwinism.
And
But anyway,
just like evolve yourself out of this life.
well, I mean, if they happen to fucking do something stupid that kill them, I'm not gonna cry about it. That's all I'm saying. I didn't.
Mm.
I'm gonna go out of my way about it, but I'm just saying if it came
Oh,
about,
gotcha.
you know,
Wait, then can I ask you then? How do you feel about uh, God? Well, that thought's kind of come and gone. It's kicking around in the back of my head about just letting people pay the price for stupid decisions that they make.
that'll be fine if the rest of us didn't have to do it too.
Well, no, just but like, if you do something fucking stupid, there should be a consequence, right? So we're sitting here, which kind of comes back around to politics. We're sitting here looking at a whole bunch of people that have been doing a whole lot of fucking stupid things without consequence. Or even just like, you walk outside, you're going to go cross the street, you don't look both ways, you get hit by a car, like, that's your own damn fault because you didn't do that, stupid. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not having Not feeling the empathy right now for them. I'm sure there's better people out there who can make a better case, but
Well,
that it ain't me.
don't get me wrong. Like, I don't have any love. I don't have love, but I'm trying to have patience.
Mm,
Through gritted teeth, I'm trying to have patience.
mm. I did want to mention. I don't know if anybody is if you're active on Facebook. There have been these rash. And if you pay attention at all to my Facebook, well, if you're on my personal Facebook, this dude, and I don't know if he's the one originating these pictures or not, but he's boy I've been Chess Strongwell. It's a page. It's like a liberal a dude who he's kind of a troll and he puts out a bunch of Trump shit or whatever. But they're like they look like old fucking Sears type portrait things or whatever. I don't know if any of y'all, if you're my age, you know that you used to go to Sears to get those portraits and shit, and like you'd have the straight up face on one, and then on the top you'd have you in profile or whatever, and it's real cheesy looking. It's all 80s looking.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I had one of those in my yearbook for the '80s. Like, somewhere in the '80s, there was one of those things, maybe two or three.
So somebody has been
Yeah,
photoshopping these kind of pictures with Trump administration people or whatever, or Trumpist people, and it's one of the most hilarious things on the internet right now.
they're called
Uh,
cronies.
what cronies? Well, whatever the fuck
Cronies.
they're called. But some of
Yeah,
these are just, oh my god, they're so funny. I mean, they just Photoshop these faces on the wildest, most horrible haircuts, and it's just great. I mean,
in
I
that case, I won't show you one of my pictures from my yearbooks because I had bad hair
well,
in the '80s.
well, I don't think anybody escaped that curse in the '80s, but I mean, so go look at Chess Strongwell. That's the name of the page. Go look at, and he's got all the pictures up there. Again, I don't know if he's doing them or if he's sharing them from another source or what. But I mean, it's a cool page anyway. I mean, so definitely go check it out, regardless.
Vet
And I
your
don't.
sources, but
Well, he doesn't know. I'm telling him. I don't know where he's getting them. What? Yeah, I'm going to go fucking on an investigative. What am I fucking current affairs? I don't give a fuck. Fucking
you just
frontline.
think they're funny.
They're funny. I don't give a fuck
I,
where they came from.
Frontline,
Generally,
that's the flea and tick medicine they use for my cat.
okay, but no. Frontline is a PBS document.
I know.
Whatever.
I know. Yeah.
And another part of this thing that's funny is that because it used to be has Sears Portrait Studio, right, in the bottom showing. So I got a little watermark. It says where it's from or whatever, right, where you took the
Mm-hmm.
picture from. Well, they're putting like instead of that, they're putting like the photo booth at Applebee's or something instead. Like it's fucking crazy. You have to go see it. It's awesome. It's funny stuff. Go check it out, man. I highly recommend that to anybody who's well. If you listen to the show, you probably think Trump is a madman anyway. So
Yeah.
I
Do you
encourage
actually
you.
do you ever get interaction from people um, that think you're completely off the rails, that are completely conservative, and
Nope, because I keep him out.
what, you
I,
boot them or they just don't show up?
where on my page?
Yeah.
No, no, I carefully curate my shit. I'm not. No, I don't have any time for that. That ain't. I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't the one. If you want that, go you do all that fucking hippie shit. I ain't doing that. Go to Jeannie's page if you want to see all the
Oh
fucking.
God, thanks.
You want to see all that waste, that refuse of humanity. Go there, but you ain't gonna find all my shit.
Yeah, I
I might.
rarely post on my page. Don't bother.
I live in a bubble, fine, but fuck you. I don't.
Yeah,
I ain't got time for that shit. Nope.
I have a few people outside my bubble, but not very many. But most of them are pretty decent human beings, whether or not
Mm,
we agree. Well,
mm,
eh,
no.
no, that actually interact with my page. which I post to, once every year.
You never fucking get on there.
Well, yeah, rarely, because I don't like Facebook. It's full of a bunch of assholes. So
You prove my goddamn point. Why the fuck do you? Anyway, whatever. There's a bunch of assholes, and you friend all of them. So I don't know what the fuck you're complaining about. That's why they're called the assholes. That's why they're assholes.
Some are just.
I mean,
what they're assholes because they're my friends. Wow, thanks, dude.
No,
Love
because
you
your hippie ass is friending all of them. Quit fucking friending all the assholes. I don't know what to tell you. You think you're some kind of fucking cure broken wings on birds and shit, and you can like, oh, let me collect. Oh, they're so injured. Look at their injured souls. No, they don't have souls. So
Oh.
Okay, I'm just saying I don't have much tolerance for that. But anyway, yeah. So the usual roundup of good stuff. I'm trying to think of anything positive that's in the news right now. How about that, Jeannie? Since you're so good at this hippie shit, why don't you tell us about something positive going on?
Weed's legal in Vermont. I don't know.
Okay, so when did that happen? I didn't even.
It came into law the first of the month. So.
I actually did.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, but it's like you can only have an ounce or something.
Yeah, of actual like weed.
And then you can like have what would you say, 2 plants or something?
2 mature and two young plants.
So
you can have a total of 4. Yeah.
That seems strangely specific.
Well, for most people, like that's a reasonable amount of weed. Most people can manage on having an ounce plus 2 mature. Plus 2 young.
That's plenty. I mean, unless you're just a fucking
right.
Well, I say that. I don't know. I don't smoke that much, so I don't know.
Well, to me, that seems plenty. Like an ounce, like Jesus fuck. All right, like if that's you, do you. But yeah, what that does is that gives people opportunities to give them away to friends.
I guess.
And if I choose to like buy you lunch, or I'm giving you something maybe in return, maybe. Yeah, the law's like pretty fucking vague on that.
That is kind of weird, but you can't sell it or buy it. Is that right?
Nope. Yeah.
What the fuck? That doesn't even make sense. So you can grow it
for personal consumption,
but you can't buy or sell it.
Correct, but you can give it away.
Doesn't make sense. Okay, whatever.
On the other hand, I'm going to say one of the things that I am proud of for that is I 100% endorse it, the legalization of it. I really don't think that people should be going to jail for this shit. It doesn't matter how often I smoke it. Yeah. And we are the first state, which is one of the things that I'm most proud of, that this was not passed by a public referendum. This was actually passed by our legislator and signed off on by our governor, who is a Republican. So
yeah, a Vermont Republican's a little different than that.
It is a little different than, say, like a Tennessee or Kentucky kind of Republican.
Yeah. So.
Little different. But, yeah, we live side by side a little bit better here than some states do.
That's generally how it is in the colder places, which makes a little more sense, I guess.
Oh, because we got to snuggle to keep warm.
All right, calm down, hippie. Although I will say there's some southern states who are trying to get it on the ballot. They're trying to do something here. I don't know exactly what the deal is, but they're trying to get it on the ballot measure going on here. So I don't know.
Is it for medical or for...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it may just be medical. I don't know.
Or even just decriminalizing it, which is different than legal. So
yeah. Well, Nashville had a thing where an ordinance where they were only giving tickets for up to a certain amount. But of course, fucking redneck backwards ass Tennessee legislature nipped that shit in the bud. And and then they're trying to talk shit about sanctuary cities. because Nashville said they're going to be one. And then Tennessee's like, no, we got to do something to make sure y'all don't like brown people. So we're going to have to figure something out about that, which is always funny to me. Because where do you think they get the money? Nashville and Memphis. That's where they get all the money from. What the fuck do you think would happen if fucking Memphis decides, especially Memphis, decided not to send them any money? The state would go fucking bankrupt. So, I mean, we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. I just need y'all blue people to go out and vote. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
If all these fuckers in the cities would vote, we wouldn't have a problem. Or, well, I say that at least when it came to statewide stuff. The problem is
there would be less gloating on the red side.
Yeah, it'd still be. The problem is though, it's the Senate and the Tennessee legislature is determined by the number of counties. And there's so much other many fucking shitty red deck counties than there are, I don't know.
Is Tennessee highly gerrymandered? I haven't looked at a map recently.
That's a good question. I don't think it's particularly gerrymandered. I could be wrong. I haven't heard.
I know there are some places that they're ridiculous, but
North Carolina, I know, pretty big one. I don't know about Tennessee.
Yeah. Give me something to look up for the next time we sit down to chat for a while.
Yeah, I need to look up.
If you decide you ever want to have me back on again, because that's always a catch-22.
I got nothing else better to do, I reckon.
I know, right?
The short nose thing. Nobody's.
You're good at that.
So, anyway, I guess we're wrapping.
We're at about an hour, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, Jeannie, I'm just gonna keep you on here. I'm not even gonna fucking get rid of you before I do the whole extra thing.
Wow.
So, of course, I'm gonna let I'm gonna let you sit there and heckle me while I'm trying to do the part where I'm supposed to like tell people shit, which I never do right anyway. If they want to go find the show or whatever. Of course, obviously, if you want to look for the show in general, it's thepodunkpolymath.com. Of course, everybody should know that. Go ahead.
Don't forget the THE, the.
Thepodunkpolymath.com. Of course, the music is by ... which I still need to go buy their fucking CD. I don't know why I haven't.
What, you haven't? Oh, they're so good. They're so good.
CDbaby.com. And he actually, the guy I know, John, just sent me a clip of him rehearsing The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. It was really good. So,
I believe it.
cdbaby.com/cd/... The logo is by, the new and improved logo is by Jeff Prebick Jr. He's on Twitter at Pit Atheist, and he loves cats. And he also does some good charity work and stuff up there in Pittsburgh, even though Pittsburgh I hate with a fiery passion. So go check out Jeff. Yeah, Jeff on Twitter and see what kind of shit he's got going. I need to get him on, actually, probably.
Yeah.
So,
he likes pussy too.
Yeah, he likes cats. So. Yeah. And he's also friends with Susan, who was on last week. So, Facebook, of course, / the Podunk Polymath, Twitter at Podunk Polymath. Email me at podunk.polymath@gmail.com. Guess what? YouTube, the Podunk Polymath. Google Plus, the Podunk Polymath. If you want to become part of the Patreon posse, which I encourage you to do, the podunkpolymath.com. Patreon.com / the Podunk Polymath. The call-in line, which nobody calls, 615-378-POPO 7676, which, Jeannie, you still haven't called that. Come to think of it. Yeah. Because you're horrible. Okay.
Well, no, it's because I call you on your phone number, dude.
Don't call me on that phone number. No. It's not official unless you call that line. So
I know. Okay.
I can't. That's a hard and fast rule. All right.
Okay. I should add that to my contacts for you.
if you want to become part of the Podunk Polymath Podcast Policy Facebook group, which I actually had somebody join, and fuck, I forgot to. I was so surprised. I was like, "What the fuck? You want to come here?" It's been like a year since anybody's actually asked to come in there. The Podunk Polymath Podcast Policy was facebook.com/group/ the Podunk Polymath Podcast Policy, and all those words are separated by periods. Of course, the Podunk.
Let's go find out who that person is, and you should call them out in your next show and say thank you. It's kind of like having a Patreon, but for your ears.
Yeah, I need to do that, I guess. Uh, the
Oh my
Podunk.
God, I'm making you do work.
I won't remember anyway. So
Yeah, okay, I'll take notes.
you're going to have to remind me. Zazzle.com, this is the online store, /podunk_polymath, which I need to update the logo since I'm going to have to give a t shirt to Rob Shrek for his $10 patronage, which I should mention anyway.
Yes.
And of course, all the patrons, which I guess I'm never very good at remembering these. Oh wait, of course, you look on the sidebar, you see you can subscribe on RSS, Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher. There's a Patreon button. You follow me on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. So you're listening to podcasts, right? You found this one. Okay. Subscribe that way. Go find your favorite thing and type in Podunk Polymath.
Okay.
You can hit search.
Come donate some money to me at PayPal, the PayPal donate button. And yeah, all that good stuff. And as far as the patrons go, I don't want to start naming them because I'll fucking forget some of them probably. But you're one of them, I know.
Yeah, whatever.
Which I don't know why the fuck that's the case, but whatever.
Yeah, hosting fees, dude. I get it. Those things are not cheap.
Not
expensive, but take some bucks.
Nate, you, per creator, Kim, fuck, I can't remember her name. I suck. I'm so bad at these kind of things, and I never can find how to figure it out on here.
Or just write them down ahead of time and have them in notes.
I don't do notes. Y'all know who you are. Rob Shrek, of course. He's the badass, the $10 badass. The per creator, she does the per creator blog. Kim Perkins, that's it. You, Nate.
Do you do show notes?
No, I never do show notes. Eric, my friend Eric. There's probably some other ones I don't remember. I'm sorry. Kill me if I don't remember.
Nah, that'd be doing you a favor. Can I ask, why are you under blankets?
I'm not under blankets.
Are you chilly? Well,
I'm not under blankets. What are you talking about?
A sheet, then.
No, I'm not under a sheet either. So, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Somebody I won't mention, but she's somebody I like, that she's a patron too.
Oh. Well, just patrons, yay, go.
Oh, I did say that I was on this week in the news with Kevin and Benedict. I forgot about that a couple of weeks ago. So go check out that. I was guest hosting because Benedict was out of town or on vacation or something. So somehow I snuck on there. So that was interesting.
You snuck on? What? Like, yeah, because you're sly.
Well, they thought I was somebody else, I think.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So I don't know what happened there. It's kind of weird. I like use the Jedi mind trick. Yeah, it was fun. There was a news quiz. I didn't fail it, so that's something, I guess.
Yeah.
So anyway, so thanks to all the patrons, even if I suck because I remember your names off the top of my head right this second. Susan Turpin, I know, was one of them. But anyway, all right. Well, thanks for listening. Sorry, I was boring. And Jeannie wasn't much better.
Me too.
So
yeah, no, not at all.
Yeah. So what are you gonna do? You can't all be bubbles and roses all the time. Whatever. So all right. Well, Jeannie, thanks for coming on.
Yep. Bye, guys.
And go ahead.
No, I just say and to you too.
Oh yeah, fuck you. All right. So until next time, y'all take it easy now. Okay.